Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It is now time to have a look at a new Soviet coastal vehicle. This is the MPK Pr.11451, and this has not just brought in a new vehicle, it's also brought in a shake-up to the coastal tech tree for the USSR. You can see here that they've actually moved stuff around, so if you are researching specific vehicles, make sure to have a look at this so you can research them before they move. I'm pretty sure it's this one that has moved across. I'm pretty sure this was on the left-hand side, but don't quote me on that. Not entirely sure the changes that they've made. So when it comes to this, the 11451, it's going to be the end of the line vehicle for rank 5 on the right-hand side. This is a 4.7 vehicle, and it has access to pretty much the same armament as a lot of these Soviet coastal machines. It has a 76mm, the AK-176M in the front. It also has the 30mm in the back, the AK-630M in right here. And it also has a bunch of torpedoes on swivel mounts, so you can actually move them around, which is a big bonus compared to a lot of the Soviet machines which have stationary torpedo tubes. So these torpedoes, these Set 72s, they have 8 kilometers travel distance, which is okay, and their speed is okay. So they're very much kind of middle of the ground torpedoes for a vehicle like this. Now, the 76mm on the front, it doesn't have a metric ton of ammo. It has 152, but it is all in its ready rack. So you don't have to worry about loading any of the additional shells. Once you're out, but you don't have to worry about the reload rates, you know, missing out or anything like that. So that's kind of cool. Same with the back gun, the 30mm. This is a rapid fire gun. It's very similar, if not the same, to a lot of other Soviet machines which have it. If you have a look at the 1241P, it has the 30mm on that, and also on this vehicle too. The MPK PR has it too, and this MPK as well. So just to kind of let you know that this is not really a new setup. So yeah, it has 3,000 rounds, and it's very good at destroying coastal machines and kind of peppering aircraft if you do. One of the things I would say though is don't let it fire by itself, because it will just run itself out of ammo super quickly, especially against vehicles around. So that is something to kind of worry about. The vehicle is a massive hydrofoil, by the way. You can see the two kind of sets here to pull it out of the water, and it seems like they're bringing in some kind of new balance system, or which is right here. It looks very similar to what you see from like an elevator, so a counterweight system, and I'm guessing that will be used when you're moving around the hydrofoil, which is kind of cool. Then you have all of the engines with these smoke funnels up top. This whole system back here looks really cool, by the way. I don't think we have this on a different vehicle, but this is awesome. And at the same time, you have the crew and everybody in the center. This thing does not have a ton of survivability. It has basically no armor, 6mm on the hull, and also has 36 crew. So once you get hit, you're going to get hit hard. And you have a tracking radar, which is really nice, and also a search radar. So both of those can work pretty well. And 3 sets of propellers, which is pretty fun. Now, as I said, this setup for guns is very similar to a lot of the other machines that are in the Soviet tech tree. And I actually don't really like it that much. So I actually prefer them being the other way around, like you see on the 1331M, where you have the 76 on the back and the 30 on the front. That's because the way that I like to play these vehicles is as an aggressive vehicle at the start to be able to win the coastal battle with the 30mm and also the rockets to, you know, do really well with. Now, you can do that with the 76 as well, but it just isn't as effective as the 30mm. So because of where the 30mm is stationed on this vehicle, it's a little bit harder to use than some of the other ones because you have to turn your vehicle a lot more, exposing a larger silhouette, making it more of a problem for other vehicles that are around. So overall, that kind of sucks. The 76mm itself, though, does have access to HE and also has access to HEVT. And the only difference between these shells is straight up just the proximity stuff. The VT is very nice, it works great, and the HE is good. This does mean, though, since it doesn't have any AP or anything like that, you can't really deal with blue water vehicles. So this is very much a vehicle to dominate the coastal area, and that's about it. The 30mm is also hefty, so once again, no penetration with that one either, and that kind of sucks. You're not able to do a lot of damage with this vehicle. So against coastal machines, this thing wrecks, but it can also get wrecked really quickly too. And once a lot of the other vehicles come in, such as the destroyers and stuff like that, you're going to have to rely on your torpedoes. So you can see here, the actual torpedoes do have the good old little fence in the way, so you can't turn them as much as you would want to, but you can still chuck them out, which is quite nice. And this thing right now doesn't have access to any rockets or bombs or anything like that. Only the torpedoes are kind of their setup. So you can angle them a little bit better than a lot of the other torpedoes, which is nice, but don't expect miracles. Talking about the 30mm, as I said, it will just fire by itself, but it will run out of ammo super quickly, so just be careful of that. And with the 76 in the front, you can just nail these types of vehicles. So any coastal will just get battered by this. Now, since it's a hydrofoil, it will raise itself out of the water, which is pretty cool. And that means that you can go faster around the place than a lot of other vehicles. What it also means is you're now another larger silhouette, meaning that you can get donked on by other things. Since it has this little fence around as well, it does mean that it's probably a little bit harder to actually get the gun on target too, so you do have to watch out for that, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. The main problem I have with this thing is when using the 30mm, you have to watch out for the superstructure in order to hit PT boats with it, and since, you know, you're a hydrofoil, you are going to, you know, bounce all over the place to be able to hit stuff. So if I want to hit this vehicle, for example, I have to wait for the hydrofoil to balance itself, and then I have to wait for the gun to set up, and then I can fire. And with the 30, you can spray vehicles super easily if you want to, which is really nice. So overall, I would say this vehicle is looking very fun, and it is beautiful. Whoever modeled this should really, really be happy with themselves. But I don't think I would take it over a lot of the other projects, or PRs I should say, at the high tier of the USSR tech tree. The larger silhouette hurts it, the torpedoes don't move enough in my opinion, and the gun setup makes it a bit more awkward to use than a lot more of these vehicles. So even though it's cool to see, and it's going to be one of those to research, especially if you're using the SKR-7, I don't think it's as good as some of the other vehicles around. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.